entirely dependent on the quality of all the small details that created micro advantages. Small wins that added up over the course of a game. Now today I want to share in a small multi-part series as a continuation of my micro video, the small things that really helped me. And I realized all of these things through my own VOD reviews, watching point of view VODs of Chinese, Korean solo queue players, and competitive players. Now, these are not sexy things. Some of them may seem, and essentially this is how my laning phases are actually going in terms of wave manipulation. So stage number 1, I begin to take solid trades or start winning my lane or winning trades. Now, instead of viewing, most people think winning trades equals getting kills, getting solo kills, getting invades, all these things. The way I view it is stage number 2 is all it is simply you're creating a resource advantage where I have more HP or more pots or more mana than the enemy. Now, what does that actually lead me to do? Then, because I have a resource advantage, either more HP or more mana over the enemy and more pots of XP, gold, that sort of thing, and then tying all this together, all these small wins add up to create big wins. Now don't worry, I'm going to show examples of what this actually looks like, and we're going to go through plenty of examples, but essentially this is the 6 stages and what's really been getting results. Now this is actually why Corrupted God and Time of Content is so incredibly strong, because not only have access to a lot of resources, you can get them whenever you want. You literally get them immediately. So what happens in terms of winning trades, or after you win trades, it helps you really develop and create a massive resource gap and a massive resource advantage. And the way Dota actually utilizes this resource advantage, he actually does it to create very awkward situations for the enemy mid laner. Either they lose a lot of XP in these minions, and sometimes, if you don't position aggressively enough, this wave won't even crash, because they'll thin it so much, it's going to kind of come out here, because it won't kill these minions fast enough, and then it can turn into an absolute nightmare. So my goal was to position aggressively enough to prevent the solution from thinning out this wave. But I still don't really want an aggressive all-in trade yet. So I use this slow build to get an immediate reset. Now, my early access to resources to really bully the opponent off waves and really control every single wave state. That's essentially what this early itemization will allow you to do. So Lucian decides to stay to force out the TP from me. Now what do we see? This wave is actually pushing back to me. So I don't want to touch this wave, right? I don't care about getting pressure and priority and deep vision and roaming. I'm already Lucian from the cannon. I actually stand in front of the cannon here, so he can't even W it as well. So I deny him that cannon worth of XP. No, actually, I think he gets XP, but not gold there. But anyway, I see the enemy jungle invade our jungle, so I try to walk over here, maybe to collapse on a kill, but I get him before I get there. That's his time to get the wave out, but he still can't get the wave out, so I bully him off again, holding my my freeze essentially. So now, larger and larger. So now, I'm just last hitting, again, completely fine to slow build. Now Lucian has 2 choices. He has to completely respect and not take too much damage, because if he takes too much damage here, when the wave actually does crash, he'll be incredibly scared to CS on the tower. Or he tries to CS from a distance with W, which is going to actually make the slow build even slower, this wave even bigger, and it's actually going to hurt him in the long run. And a lot of players aren't going to know what to do in this situation. And they're actually going to completely get caught off guard by you hitting 6 first. And don't worry, we're going to show plenty of examples about how replicable this sort of strategy actually is in a lot of different matchups. Now again, I'm completely fine to slow build here. I know I'm going to get level 6 soon, and now my plan again, because the wave is so deep on my side, Lucian can't walk up too far, because then he's potentially going to be scared to die to ganks, or if he uses abilities on the wave, try and prevent the slow build, then I can walk past the wave and use my abilities on him to take really solid trades. And, denying this guy 2 or 3 creeps worth of XP. So as you can see, I messed up my Q a little bit here, so I have to go back and pick up my ball. But again, I'm still slow building, so it's all good. Slow build, slow build, slow build. Notice I'm very careful about how I use my abilities. I don't really want to be QWing through the wave, because then it will turn it into a fast push. I'm trying to always walk past the wave, then use abilities, so it's not touching any of the creeps. Now, and he actually misses all of the CS on the tower. That actually happens sometimes, but if you're a you can definitely get this. So I'm now utilizing my built wave to get harassed. Exactly what you can do. And I know I'm completely fine. Say yes, say yes, say yes. Get a nice little deep ward onto the raptors there. Again, use this time to get more damage onto the tower and more poke onto this Lucian. Getting some really solid poke down. Now, look at this. Look what I do again. Notice how I don't use through these minions here. I actually let the wave come out again. It's actually going to slow build back out again. Alright, so again, rinse, repeat, slow building back out. Yes, it might not even fully slow build out. Actually, it gives me control over the wave. It creates a resource advantage. I can't do this without a resource advantage. Now, eventually, Lucian gets really up there to push out the wave. Look what I do. I can just leave it, and it's going to slow build out to me again. It's going to slow push back to me again. Waves and how I can really dominate laning phase with this strategy. We're going to go through plenty more examples, guys, so stay tuned. So in this example here, guys, I'm playing Orianna into Yone, and I've actually been slow building the first few waves into this Yone, trying to crash it under tower. Then I see my Warwick actually aggressively invade the Hecarim. So I use this as an opportunity to back him up. Try and make sure I spot out the Hecarim and make sure this Warwick can safely get this blue buff. Blue buff on the Hecarim. Now, because I've actually shoved those waves under the tower, it's going to be slow building back out to me. So I make my way back to mid lane. Now, what do we know? This is slow building back to me. So, nothing too special here. Pull the wave, hold it onto my side. Now, this, again, isn't frozen, but it will temporarily hold it here. And the reason this is important is, again, it will be here temporarily, and which this time I can walk past the wave, I can take aggressive trades with my trucking bot, I can then begin a slow build into a reset, a slow build into a harass, or whatever I want to do. The most important thing here isn't the freeze, it's the ability, to not able to walk up whatsoever. Now, again, I'm under the assumption that this Yone has to reset because it's him being chunked out, so I end up hard shoving again, and which is what's going to happen again. It's going to push back out to me. Now I'm 55 CS to 29. I've basically completely mitigated the entire early laning phase. I put myself in a very good position. I'm never in a position to have to blow flash, and I'm exerting a lot of threat onto this enemy. So he's missing a lot of XP, a lot of gold, and I find myself in a very favorable situation. So as you can see, it's the same principles, just applied in a different game up, because this Akali knows the way he's pushing into me, it's going to be frozen. She has to do something to unbreak this freeze. Either she sacrifices HP to get the wave in, or she has to call her jungler. Either way, it's really suboptimal, okay? So my way of preventing her from getting this wave out is by trading aggressively onto the champion. It's not by thinning this wave. It's actually by adding or putting my aggression onto this Akali. So anyway, I'm directing all of my attention onto this Akali, being very careful about how many minions I'm hitting, because again, I don't want this wave to crash under my tower. So I'm really focusing all my auto attacks, all of my abilities onto this Akali. This is exactly what Dopa does as well. Again, harass. Akali's desperate to get this wave on the tower. Bang, she's super frustrated, because in this situation, what she should have done is actually just taken the loss, make sure she gets the wave out so she doesn't have to use TP to